Well guys, there is some truly sad news to share regarding the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes following a truly impactful episode of Friday Night SmackDown, and it appears as though the Undisputed Title run of Cody Rhodes has come to an abrupt end after what transpired towards the end of the show Friday night, and it's definitely caused a lot of chaos behind the scenes in WWE these last few days, as Triple H and other backstage officials are now going to be scrambling to find the answers for what they can do now that Cody's likely going to be forced to vacate or relinquish the Undisputed Championship in the coming days or weeks. Now, for those of you who may have missed it, this past week was absolutely massive for WWE. It honestly felt a lot like the week after a WrestleMania pay-per-view, because on Monday Night Raw, we witnessed the return of Uncle Howdy with the new Wyatt 6 faction, Otis finally stood up for himself and the rest of Alpha Academy against Chad Gable, Seth Rollins made his major return to set his sights on Damian Priest's World Heavyweight Championship, and Drew McIntyre quit WWE, which obviously turned out to not actually be true. Now, things didn't slow down much in WWE on SmackDown this past Friday, as there was a massive reunion between Paul Heyman and CM Punk. Drew McIntyre would later return in the show and absolutely destroy Punk, sending him to the hospital, and the biggest moment would undoubtedly have to be the WWE debut of Jacob Fatu, who absolutely destroyed the Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes outside the ring with a devastating splash through the announcer's table, and had one of the most impactful debuts in recent memory, and many fans feel Solo Sikoa is already overshadowed by Jacob Fatu in just one WWE appearance. However, as cool and impactful as Jacob Fatu's debut was on SmackDown this past Friday, unfortunately, the Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes suffered a serious injury as a result of the splash he took from Jacob through the announcer's table. It was an absolutely vicious frog splash that looked painful for Cody Rhodes in real time, but it has now been revealed that Cody suffered a serious injury because of it, and will likely be forced to vacate or relinquish the Undisputed Championship in the coming weeks on SmackDown. Now, at a WWE Live event yesterday in Bloomington, Illinois, Cody Rhodes defended his Undisputed Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura, but what was very noticeable for fans was the fact that Cody's midsection was all taped up, suggesting some kind of an injury that most believe wasn't serious, only for Cody Rhodes to share some breaking news after the match was over, and reveal to fans that he suffered 2 broken ribs as a result of Jacob Fatu's vicious attack on SmackDown. Here's the video clip, so you guys can see this shocking announcement from Cody Rhodes at yesterday's live event.
So before you hear it from anybody else, a little scoop for you, Bloomington. Last night I did break 2 of my ribs. And the thought was, well, you can take off Bloomington, you can take off Kalamazoo, you can even take off next Friday, where the story began in 1978, New York City, and my answer to that was emphatically 100% hell no! We had a really wonderful show. Let's shout a few people out here on this super show.
Quite the shocking announcement from Cody Rhodes, and while Cody is adamant about continuing to wrestle despite such a serious injury, and WWE's recommendation to take the upcoming shows off, unfortunately for Cody, this decision of him vacating the Undisputed Championship won't be up to him to make, and will instead be made at the discretion of Triple H and SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis. Here's what one of our insider sources had to report regarding what WWE planned to do with the devastating news of Cody Rhodes suffering 2 broken ribs at the hands of Jacob Fatu on SmackDown last week, and why the decision is reportedly being made for Cody to vacate the title. Quote, So we've heard that while WWE were very happy with Jacob Fatu's debut on SmackDown last week and felt he did a great job introducing himself in a very enforcer-like way, which is exactly what the company wanted, they want Jacob Fatu to be the truly feared man in the new bloodline, hence why Tanga Loa and Tama Tonga looked a bit scared of Jacob Fatu when SmackDown was wrapping up and Jacob had completely destroyed Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. However, there was a very bad injury to come out of this debut of Jacob Fatu, as we've been told that Jacob landed extremely hard on Cody Rhodes' ribs, which obviously wasn't supposed to happen and was an unnoticeable botch at the time, and Cody ended up breaking 2 ribs as a result of the splash from the top rope through the announcer's desk. Now the move looked devastating when it happened, but no one suspected Cody was legitimately injured, so fans and the media were unaware of the botch that actually took place, and the fact that Cody Rhodes was in serious pain after taking that splash from Jacob Fatu. Now, Cody Rhodes did wrestle at the WWE Super Show in Bloomington, Illinois last night against Shinsuke Nakamura, but this was the show where Cody revealed to the crowd the serious injury he sustained on SmackDown Friday night after the splash from Jacob Fatu, and while Cody tried to reassure the crowd that he's going to be continuing as a fighting champion regardless of the broken ribs, we've heard the situation is pretty dire behind the scenes, and Cody's title run could be ending abruptly due to an injury that Cody can't simply push through. Now, Cody Rhodes is known behind the scenes as being an extremely tough and resilient worker, someone who wrestled with a badly torn pec in a Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins, something Hunter was apparently skeptical about letting Cody do, and we've heard that broken ribs is not an injury that Triple H, or Nick Aldis for that matter, will let Cody continue to wrestle with. A badly torn pec is one thing, but broken ribs is a much more serious injury, as wrestling with such an injury could be life-threatening if something went wrong. So regardless of what Cody said at the event yesterday when revealing the injury news, WWE are not going to allow Cody to continue wrestling. This is obviously devastating news for WWE to lose Cody Rhodes as their flagship champion, but we've heard that fans shouldn't be surprised if an announcement is made in the coming days, or at the latest on SmackDown next week, that Cody Rhodes will be vacating the Undisputed title and being put on the shelf to recover from the broken ribs. Definitely not what WWE wanted ahead of Money in the Bank and especially SummerSlam, but we've heard that if Cody's in fact forced to relinquish the championship, that title will be put on Solo Sikoa heading into SummerSlam, likely with Solo winning a tournament of some kind for the vacant title, a tournament that obviously Solo would be helped greatly by the new bloodline. So guys, it looks as though Jacob Fatu's debut on SmackDown this past week was a blessing and a curse, as it's exciting to see a new monster in the bloodline, a guy who we personally believe is far superior to Solo Sikoa as an enforcer-type wrestler, but the debut of Jacob Fatu also resulted in Cody Rhodes suffering an absolutely devastating injury in the way of 2 broken ribs, an injury that will likely force Triple H and Nick Aldis to strip Cody of the undisputed WWE Championship in the coming days and weeks, which would be very sad news to say the least. Now, if Cody Rhodes is forced to vacate the title, should Solo Sikoa be the superstar who WWE put the belt on in the meantime while Cody's away, or would you have another superstar in mind who should get this major push and title run? Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.